Sure. I'm Karl Krantz. I'm the founder of Silicon Valley Virtual Reality, also known as SVVR.
Well, what does Silicon Valley Virtual Reality do?
We are a community and industry organization. We hold events that allow people to come and experience virtual reality and allow people in the virtual reality industry to collaborate, to come together, to share best practices, to figure out which directions this industry is going, and really just to learn from each other.
For someone who doesn't know anything about VR or virtual reality, how would you describe it?
It literally is putting on a headset and being transported somewhere else. You immediately forget where you are in the world, and you are transported somewhere else. And that can be anywhere. I think the promise is that you can go anywhere you want at any time you want, be with anyone you want, across the world, right from the comfort of your own home.
How did you get interested in VR?
As a child, I started hearing about it when I was a little kid, playing with my Commodore 64. I was in that first generation of kids that had personal computers, and I started hearing about this guy called Jaron Lanier, who had this technology called virtual reality out in California, and it just sounded so cool to me immediately. I immediately got the bug from a little kid, and I've just been following the industry and obsessed with it my whole life, and it kind of faltered in the 90s, and it was really disappointing, but it always kind of gnawed at me that that's what I wanted to do. I went into an adjacent industry of telepresence, and eventually about 5 years ago, I realized consumer virtual reality was going to come soon, so I came out to Silicon Valley and started SVVR.
So go west was your mantra.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. To the future.
And what did you discover in the wild, wild west of VR?
So it's amazing because we started SVVR 3 years ago, and then it was is this going to be a thing? It looks like it could be a thing. It looks like this could actually work. We were trying headsets that were really blowing our minds, but in retrospect they were not very good, and that was just 3 years ago. Over the course of those 3 years, virtual reality is actually it's become real. You can now buy consumer devices that are really, really, really good. I think most people that try this are going to be surprised at how good the technology got, how quickly. It's been slowly moving in the background, but people haven't really been exposed to it. That said, it is something you have to experience. So there's a little bit of a challenge in adoption. It's going to be a little slow because it's one at a time. Someone tries it, then they're like, this is really cool. They buy it, then they show their friends one at a time. So it's kind of spread virally like that.
Is VR an isolating experience because you don those headsets, and then you're lost in your own world, turning your head this way and that way, and the person watching you is like, what is he doing?
Right. So it certainly can be. That said, some of the most popular applications that people are spending the most time in virtual reality now are social applications. So you can go into these social worlds, these shared virtual worlds where you can interact with people across the world. So you wind up talking to people, having friends, you feel like they're there with you, and it's actually very social. The other aspect of it that makes it social is, as I said before, it's something you have to try, you have to experience. So everyone who gets this becomes an evangelist, and that means that they're showing their friends. So it actually encourages, I always say virtual reality is the ultimate social lubricant because it's better than alcohol in that way. It encourages people to talk to each other. If you have a great experience, you want to share it with your friends or other people that maybe aren't your friends yet. And you're saying, hey, try this is cool. And now you had a shared experience. Now your bond is a little tighter. It's actually really social. A lot of the people in here will tell you, the people working in this industry, that they have more friends now than they've ever had in their whole life, and that's because of virtual reality. Another surprising thing about virtual reality is, one, we thought it would be very isolating, and we'd all be very lonely in our headsets, and two, we thought, it'll make us very unhealthy. We'll start to expand and sink into our chairs. I actually lost about 20 pounds because of virtual reality, because virtual reality is actually, the best systems right now are standing experiences. You're moving around, you're using your hands, motion controllers, sword fighting, doing archery, or other things that you're using your full body, and I actually get more exercise now. I've lost weight, so it turns out virtual reality is actually very healthy.
Wait a minute. You lost 20 pounds just doing VR activity?
Yes, and it wasn't that I was trying to lose weight. It's just that I started having different activities in my day. I would spend 4 hours a day sitting in a chair using virtual reality or just using a screen before. Now I spend those 4 hours or more standing and moving around and doing, being active with my body. And I'm not the only one. There's many people here who have had the same experience. There's a talk from Brad Herman, who formerly ran the DreamWorks VR lab. And he had the same experience. He lost 50 pounds from virtual reality.
Wow, who knew, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So tell me, what are the applications for VR? Is it only for gamers, or could somebody like me, total newbie, knows nothing about VR, headsets, has a cardboard headset.
Right, it's definitely not just for gamers. About a third of the people in our community, in our industry group here, only about a third of them are actually working on gaming content. People are working on cinematic experiences like virtual tourism, photogrammetry, so you can go somewhere else in the world and feel like you're virtually there, or even do it in real time. There's a number of people doing real-time 360 camera rigs that allow you to basically take your head and put it somewhere else in the world and look around in real time, which is really cool. There's social applications which are really cool. Creative expression is really big, being able to build, paint. Google has an application called Tilt Brush, which is really popular. It allows people to paint in 3D, allows people to be creative. And then there's more traditional uses. Anywhere where you need a lot of data in your field of view, virtual reality can do that better. You can have as many monitors as you can imagine in virtual reality without actually having to set up 50 monitors on your desk.
My last question is, how many headsets do you have?
How many headsets do I have? Dozens. It's kind of an unfair question because we've started a SVVR museum, so we actually have all these vintage headsets, and then all the lower end headsets, the cardboards as they come along, and then of course we have all the top of the line headsets too. So dozens I haven't counted, but a lot.
Karl, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.